Aha. Well, let's have a squiz here. Theoretically, this is working. All right. And I don't see. Hello. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Well, I am just using a new microphone, folks, and checking my sound. All right. All right. Welcome to Inktober from KiaOracle. It's been a great week, and I want to finally put some things into the journal that I have not used at all. So, it's Saturday morning. It's a beautiful day in New Zealand. Join me. For a bit of calm tangling. Zit. Voilà, le crayon. All right. I guess that was a false start before. Hello, world. It's KiaOracle from New Zealand. I'm locked down still, and it is Inktober. So it is time to bust out the journal. I have not wanted to draw in because it is here and it is time to use it. So Inktober tangles. Time to go into. So day one was Lunarflux. So if you remember, this is a bit like what Lunarflux looks like. So step one is a teardrop shape. Aha, builders next door have arrived. Sorry, folks. You can get birds and builders today. So that's step 1. Step 2 is adding a bit of a stalk or a stem. Makes it quite an organic, fun little tangle. See how it starts to look a little bit like it's growing. So again, step 1 we had little tears. And a little stalk. And then finally, the end, a quirky aura. And yes, I know there's a noise outside, but I'm not going to let it bother me. You can be mindful of the stroke I'm working on. And listen to the other sounds around me. Et voila. That is Lunarflux by Debbie New. Okay, so next we've got Naaki. Now, I'm going to put the names of everybody on the screen because I hesitate to pronounce some of the names on this month's list because I don't know how to pronounce them and I really don't want to be wrong. Sorry, guys. At least I can check my spelling if I can't check my pronunciation. All right. So, Naaki. It's a broken bubble to start with. Let's see. It's an orb that has little open spots left it behind. Once you've done your broken orb, we're going to add these little arms with an orb at the end of each arm. It's a little bit like a hallway. So it's a pair of lines from each of those open bits, right? And then an orb at the end, but leave a little sparkle behind. Yeah. All right. Again, draw a pair of lines. Orb. I draw another orb in the orb. And then fill in the rest. It's far easier to turn your work than to turn your hand like I'm doing, but there's not room on this table. All right. So let's review step 1. We've got the broken bubble. And then we've got little arms with an orb at the end of each one. Hallways. Tunnels. Tunnels plugged with bubbles. Voila. All right. So we next aura that space taking care with each stroke. Yeah. There are many fun ways to play with this aura. Go ahead and experiment, because I'm sure you will find a lovely, fun, unique way of expressing this. The world is starting to wake up in New Zealand. It's Saturday morning, bright and early. Now, if you're just tuning in, this is Ann Toth, otherwise known as KiaOracle. I am locked down in my home in New Zealand, where I've been for the past 8 weeks. So today, we are celebrating 1 week of Inktober by busting out the journal that we've never had the guts to draw in before. So now's the time. This is Naaki. And the final step here is to contain your wee shape. And you can either do so loosely or really tight. And it's quite cool. Voila, Naaki. That's day 2. Okay. Day 3. Let's see. That was dude. Dude. And this is a fun one because dude is not spelled the way that you would expect. It's D-E-W-D. Dude. So I'm going to start with my wee little hexagons. Check out what I found out. Taka, taka, stop, stop. I can't unhear it. Taka, taka, stop, stop. Were you a Suzuki kid when you were a kid? I still am. Ah, you laugh. My child still holds the toothbrush with the bow hold. Anyway, moving right along. Dude, we start with little goofy 9s. Okay. Sorry for all the clicking. C'est moi, folks. C'est moi. Now, for these, it's a little bit like a fescue, or it's not quite a muka, but it's a bit like a 9. So you have a squiggly tail You come up, but don't completely ink in the top of your shape. Now, each one will always look different, but you'll find the spot where they fit. Okay? Now, step 2, we're going to aura each of these little shapes. So you go really close, you hug that shape and just follow the shape and then tuck it right into that little corner. And that's it. Nice and easy. So, again, step 1, we've got the squiggle 9s. Next, we have one close little aura. Right? So you repeat that step along one whole side. Et voila. Oops, that's meant to be in black. No mistakes, right? And just color that in black. All right. So the next step here is continue along the other side, yeah? One shape at a time. Whoops, I should have kept that separated, but that's okay. No mistakes. Only happy accidents. All right, so we're aura along the side, and we just fudge it where we had the little happy accident. And what is the next step? The next step is a second one. I said that entire one in red, shall we? And let's go this way. You'll find where they fit. All right. And then if you run into any ink, just pretend that your line continues along behind. We call that drawing behind. All right. So there's one last step to pull this little guy together, besides shading, obviously. Shading is not a step that has happened here on these step outs. So we've got our squiggle 9s, flicking in each direction. Go around this. And the final step is to add additional aura between these two versions of your shape so that it links them. Don't forget to draw behind. Et voila. Dude. Now you can use graphite to make these really pop, and that'll be another step. But this is just the bare basics of the Tangle. All right, that's day 3. That's day 4. It goes whipped cream. So we've got whipped cream. Here we go. Taka, taka, stomp, stomp. Taka, taka, stomp, stomp. Taka, taka, stop, stomp. Taka, taka, stop, stomp. You didn't think he'd get singing, did you? Huh? Voila. Hello. We will start our lovely whipped cream with orbs. Now, orbs do not have to be perfectly round, but they are kind of a pea shape. Yeah, like so. Now, I'm just trying to place them evenly around my space. It might be easier to do all of step 1 at once, yeah. All right, so that's step 1 of whipped cream. Step 2, we do an est curve. Ooh, I didn't do a very good closure on that one. I can't have that. So you can tidy your shape anytime. Now, so an S curve. We're taking off from this orb and we're going to land on this one, doing an S. So you can practice a few times and then just draw a little letter S. Ta-da! If you're not quite right, just practice again. Oops, I've gotten my ink in there. Fun. Okay, so again, that is a letter S from one P to the next. One bubble to the next. Yes. And so for whipped cream, the next thing, we're going to aura that little curve and tuck the edge right into the curve there. Whoops, let me finish the S's. Yeah, I forgot to do all that. When I was speeding up, I wasn't being mindful. Okay, so again, that step was aura that S curve. It's starting to be more of a C curve the more aura we go. And just follow along, and it'll be right. So next, you continue that aura until you run out of space. See how it looks a little bit like the edge of cake decorating? Okay, so again, we just follow that S curve and make it look yummy. Now, the final step, usually you'd flip your work, but I'm not going to do that today because my desk is completely unable for that. I do that to the opposite side. All right. So it must be called whipped cream because it looks like the edging of the cake. I think so anyway. Whipped cream. All right, now this one, just make sure I'm on the right day. Yes, I am. Now, I mispronounced this, I think, for a long time. I think it's Ayame, isn't it? I called it Ayame, but I had a lot of trouble with this one at first, but I goofed around with it. And then I did a trick that I heard on an art program. I'll tell you about it after I do my taka taka stop stops. All right. Now, I was really concerned about making these shapes all perfect, and I let that keep me from doing this particular tangle when I learned about it because it was too hard. Now, I practiced and practiced, and then the thing that I did that made a difference was I said, what is the worst thing that can go wrong? Well, it can be lopsided. So I tried to make some lopsided, and they actually looked cool. They had their own charm. So there is a unique charm to wonky. Don't let it hinder you from exploring a tangle because you might find that you actually enjoy it. So the first thing you do for Ayame is make an S. Okay, so again, that is an S. And I'm going to try to do that all the way through. The second step is to sort of aura that S, but to make a little leaf shape, a petal. Okay. Step 3 is to continue that and put 2 more of these leaf shapes. So continue until you have a total of 3 petals. Now I found it tricky to do that S shape in one shape. So turning my tile is the easiest way to do that, so I can keep my hand the same direction for making that shape. Now, if I can't do that, I have to think about it in my mind. All right, so I think about it, and which direction does an S go? I just and theoretically, it should be the same direction facing down. So it ended up working. So again, whoops, I've gone backwards there. There are no mistakes, okay? So I'm going to go the correct direction, and then we'll roll with that. See, I still find this one tricky. But it'll look cool. Every single one is unique. Okay, so again, that's down and then up. Down and then up. Okay. And then an S. All right, so the trickiest part for me is over. Oh, wait. Actually, this step is tricky too. So we're going to divide each of these little leaf shapes into 2 with another little S shape, right? So it's a little line that sort of divides that shape. Voila. Be mindful, Anne. All right. Now, the next fun step with Ayame, and we're going to use this top section to demonstrate it, is we are going to put a C curve from one petal into the center. And we'll echo that C curve. Going smaller as we go down. Voila. So again, that was a C curve into the center, and echo that. And we do that then, the remaining 3 sides. Remaining 2 sides, what am I talking about? Let's fit it in. Et voila. I am me. All right. Now, BrrrSt. Oh, I really enjoyed this one too. But I did this in 9 steps. So I got a few extra of these little doodads to draw. Can't believe I'm actually drawing in this journal. Hey, voila. Okay. Beautiful. So, here we go. BrrrSt, I think, or BrrrSt. So, this one starts in a nice, straightforward, and simple way. It is simply a cross. I'm going to try to do this in a wonky way instead of that way, yeah? I don't think I can. So, let's see. I'm determined to use this wonky shape. So from the top of one, go to the end of the second. Ta-da! It's just a little C curve. I'll do that step to each one. So next, maybe I'll have them go down this way and go all the way around. Yeah, that's what I'll do. So step 3 is to complete step 2 on the remaining sides. All right, I think you get the idea by the end of all these. That is step 3. Step 4 is to aura that last step that you did. All right, I'm going to do step 4 over here. All right, so this step ends up looking a little bit like a banana shape. All right, so we just sweep from one tip to the next in a nice curving C shape. And be mindful of where your pen lands. There are no mistakes though, so don't be angry or upset, because that was not quite round. We'll deal with it. It's fine. I've deliberately done some sort of flat one so that we deal with it in the end one. All right. Now, I've gotten off track, haven't I? Silly me. Okay, so 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, no, I haven't. I just haven't completed that silly one. We'll catch you guys up. There we go. Now he's caught up. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Step 5 is a cross. Now each line of the cross needs to hit the middle. Voila. Nice and simple. All right, so we'll do that step across the board. Yeah. So it's just a cross that goes through the middle of your creation. Okay. Now, the next step is we're going to divide that remaining space by drawing another line. I draw a line straight through. So it's like another X that goes through this center. But if you want to think about it as dividing the spaces out, you can divide each one, whether from the middle to the edge or from the edge to the middle. All right, and all works as long as you do it one step at a time. Okay, so this time I'm going to go the other direction around the circle. You'll find a way that works for you. Okay, we're getting close to the end of this one. So this step looks like handles to me. So see where we did that X, the red one here. We pick up where that line would cross and do a C curve around to the other eye. So it looks a little bit like a handle. Huh? We do the same thing for each side. So you just imagine where those lines would cross. And there you have it. So we'll do that one more time, yeah. Well, just imagine where it would cross using the concept of drawing behind. Et voila. So, for that step, make another handle. Oh, whoops, I forgot this guy. We'll do them all at once. So it's starting to look like a baby rainbow. The final step of this fun tangle is another handle on each edge. So it ends up really looking like a rainbow. So really be mindful of this step because it can be easy to make a shape that you don't quite mean to make if you're not focused on your stroke. Et voila. BrrrSt. Now, this next one, Morrisseau. This is lots of fun. I really enjoyed this one too. So, stop. Okay, so for this one, it is super fun. We start with blobs, and you can make them amorphous blobs, you can make them regular beautiful blobs, you can make them round blobs, you can make them angular blobs. I'm going to just kind of give it a whirl. Okay, so all right, so I'll do 4 blobs there. And as you can see, they're going to be different in every one, of course, because Tangle is always unique. Our mindful drawing will be. Okay. Now, for step 2, what we're going to do is connect some of these. Actually, step 3 is connecting even more of them. So we'll connect the same 2. But we'll continue that fun little exercise. Voila. And then the final step is to embellish. Now, you can do all kinds of fun stuff. You can do an aura on the inside. You can draw some little prongs to hold it up. You can maybe put a couple on the inside. You can draw some extras. The world is your oyster. There are all kinds of fun things you can do with this. Online, I see people doing gems and adding color. Obviously, you can finesse all of these lines, but for this purpose, it's just sort of a stick drawing of the tangle. All right, so that is Morrisseau. Now, That's day 7. I'm going to go ahead and do day 8 here. Day 8 is Zenith. And that is a Zentangle Tangle. And I quite enjoy this one. I've taken it and goofed around with it quite a lot. Now, here in the month of October, I really noticed something funny, and I'll show you in just a tick. Hang on. All right. Just need one more for this. Sorry, the wind is blowing, guys, so it's on the mic on the outside. I've got 2 mics set up. So in one ear is my voice, and I am trying an old lectern mic, which is kind of cool. Now, the microphone I have pointed outside is a microphone that is used for an auditorium. And right now it is picking up the helicopter. Now, step 1, a set of C curves. And these do not have to match. They do look lovely when they do, but don't worry about it. Just do a series of C curves. And it looks a little bit like, in this case, upside down water. Okay. So, step 2 is we're going to do C curves the opposite direction. So from the middle of the one C curve. So I think of it as the valley in between the mountains, although since I've got you upside down, that's really not that helpful. So go like so. Okay, so from the roundest bit, the middle, and make zigzag rice. Ta-da. New Zealand is waking up, guys. All right. Zigzag rice. The next fun step. And we're going to tuck a pair of lines into each little corner, like so. It makes a little pointy shape. And then another set. Now this is where I ended up laughing. It looks like vampire teeth. So here we go. We're going to line up a set of vampire teeth. Yep. On both sides of your zigzag rice. And on that step, they're even red. Fun, huh? Okay. Now we're going to aura your entire shape. And that is just to create an echo of the outside of your shape. Voila. And the final fun step is to put an orb on the tip of each vampire tooth. This must be a dot of blood, I guess, especially with the red. Now, I leave a little area uninked for each orb if I can, because it makes it look like a little sparkle. All right. So there we have it. Zenith. In essence, that is the first week or so of Inktober Tangles. Thank you for coming to join me. This has been KiaOracle here in New Zealand, lockdown, doing a little bit of breaking out of the brand new journal. Well, journal that I've had for years, but never had the guts to write in. So we did Lunarflux, Naaki, Dude, Whipdcreem, Ayame, BrrrSt, Morrisseau, and finally, Zenith. That is the first 8 days of Inktober, October 8. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching. Please, please subscribe if you haven't already. Click the alerts bell if you want to know about upcoming KiaOracle events. There's all sorts of stuff happening in Inktober. I also wanted to say thank you to those of you who support me on Patreon, because it is through the help of people like you that KiaOracle can do videos like this. So thank you so much. If you'd like to support KiaOracle, please head on to Patreon and have a look, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Toodaloo, folks. Bye.